Calamity. Can a step back be a good thing? Hi. Ever since I learned about the Dark Ages, I've wondered how much further could we be technology-wise if only we hadn't burned books, if only we hadn't smothered science, if only we'd given meritocracy a chance. I remember watching the movie Agora from 2009 and feeling this ache in my chest, like when I see someone throw away food while I know others are starving. That same sense of waste, of disrespect for what sustains us, just magnified on a civilizational scale. Not long ago, it dawned on me how naive that line of thinking was. And I don't just mean naive for assuming we could have reached the same progress sooner. The truly naive part was believing that high level of technological progress is automatically a good thing. I'm increasingly convinced we're technology smart and life stupid, too clever for our own good. Maybe it's emotional intelligence that's lacking. We struggle to empathize with the victims of progress. I don't just mean accidents, like when reactor blows. Consider this: despite the data, many still prefer the slow, painful harms of coal over the perceived risks of nuclear power plants. It's controversial across the European Union. Some countries have even gone back to coal. I grew up hearing people cough from polluted air, and yet the same people would tell me nuclear power was too dangerous. It always struck me as surreal. We'd rather die slowly and silently than face a risk we don't fully understand. Lately, I keep circling the root of our mess, and I think, just like the fear of AI misalignment, we're misaligned with ourselves. I think humanity needs religion at some kind of basic fundamental level, as our brains have a limit of understanding. I see it in myself too. When I've hit moments where I couldn't know the answer, I still leaned on something. Sometimes it was hope, sometimes it was trust in people I loved, sometimes even a silly superstition. But it was faith, in one form or another, that carried me forward. There's simply too much to know. Even after 50 years of study, you forget as you learn. We have retention limits. We've always needed something shared to align our values, goals, and trust. Here's the kicker. We didn't abandon religion. We switched to a simulacrum so entangled with daily life, we don't call it faith. Today's religion is capitalism, consumerism, plutocracy, whatever you call it. It's slippery by design. That vagueness keeps it powerful. We mostly believe in money, and behind money is ownership. Everything is owned by someone, usually an old rich guy. And if you don't like it, well, too bad, everything's already taken. The irony: to escape capitalism, you have to win at it first. Tiny home, off-grid dreams often end up as a $200,000 debt for land and a container turned sell, and that's all assuming you are in perfect health and don't need to rejoin the system for medical purposes. But this isn't a capitalism rant. We know the pattern: capitalism for the poor, socialism for the rich, bailouts for the ruling class, since at least the Fiat era. Fiat lit the religious flame. Before that, money tied to gold at least felt tangible. To be fair, not everything today is bad. Feudalism might have been worse. We've made real gains. And yet, we're turning the planet into a dumpster, then lighting it on fire. Smart? Well, not so much. The richest seem intent on making Elysium real. Fine, let's send them to Mars. I'll hold back. Though, let's be honest, they won't take money, they'll take resources we need to survive. But that's a different story for a different day. Back to the point. We didn't reject religion, we rebranded it. Technocrats dream of a near-term sci-fi future where AGI solves the dumpster fire, so it's not faith, right? But the way we classify ideas matters. We judge what's acceptable to consider, often by vibes, not facts. We rarely change minds with facts alone, and you and I are not above that. So ask, what are the walls of your simulacrum? I can't answer that for you, but asking it might be half of the work. Where do we go from here? We look to the past for patterns and hope to forecast by swapping variables. History moves in cycles. We get periodic vibes. We constantly predict apocalypse. Maybe group doom feels easier than facing personal death. As living creatures, we've survived extinction-level events. As humans, our catastrophes, well, smaller, but still massive. And the further we go, the more likely we self-inflict those tragedies. For 2 millennia, we've cycled between embracing and rejecting knowledge. I used to see the anti-knowledge eras as objectively bad. Then a fault landed, little fragments clicking into a recipe for destruction. What if, from the vantage point of 30th century, those dark ages actually prolong our species' lifespan, giving us time to catch up with what we've invented? What if, without them, we got nukes centuries earlier and erased ourselves? Is that so far-fetched? The nuclear threat isn't gone. Many of us still carry that anxiety daily. And now climate change. I have little doubt we're on the verge of a global calamity. It's coming. We'll deal with it. The question is how. History suggests the poor will pay, with their health, with their labor, with their lives. The elites will pay with imaginary money from bunkers, as usual. And if you ask what kind of Armageddon, I fear it's the slow kind, the boiling frog kind. Not single outrage, just steady drumbeat of disasters. Refugee flows, barbed wire, and bullets we pretend not to see. Crisis is profitable. Corruption fattens margins. If it works, why would they change it? On a cosmic horror level, boiling us slowly is effective because we divide as we panic. Most of us are just trying to survive today. Panic kills plans. Those who are profiting from the upcoming disaster have had climate predictions and contingencies since the 80s. Will those plans work? Probably to an extent. Money makes plans sturdier. But even an ultra-rich forget the 9-meal rule. After 9 missed meals, money stops mattering. That's the real reset. When the Leviathan that guards our daily life dies in our subconscious, complex society dies with it. Simple truth even a trillionaire can miss: you can't pay for security when violence is the only remaining currency. So can calamity be a good thing? Can a step back lead somewhere better? Is a course correction catastrophe ever necessary? Perhaps. I don't think calamity is good, but rubble can be fertile. When noise thins out, maybe your voice gains value. When it's time to rebuild, maybe you have a better plan, or at least a plan. We already know that the last one didn't work. And these relatively peaceful moments isn't now the time to ask what we want, what we hope for, what we stand for, because we won't figure it out mid-chaos. So can calamity be a good thing? Maybe not. But it's in our best interest to be ready to turn rubble into something better, or at least to know how you'd try. I leave you with these questions, not to torture only myself. Please suffer with me for a moment, solving the unsolvable. And maybe for a moment you'll let yourself believe you have an answer. Thank you for watching.